Pintucks on a serger is really easy. I know it seems a little odd, but it is possible. We're going to use the 3-thread rolled edge. Now what I've done is I've gone ahead and threaded my machine with my threads. I have my needle thread in the correct position, which is my right needle. I have my upper looper actually threaded this time with a texturized nylon thread, and what this will do is it kind of covers the area of my fabric as I'm stitching. It expands. I don't want any of my fabric peeking through on my Pintucks. And then for my lower looper, I actually did go ahead and leave the standard overlock thread in position. Now you're going to make sure that you put your stitch length setting to the R setting for rolled hem, and we did remove the stitch finger. And the last thing that we did was we played a little bit with our tensions. Using the standard setting that was suggested in the book, I set up. But what I did first was I always test my stitch. And how I knew that I needed to adjust the tension setting was this was the first pass through. You can see on the front side, because there's my orange thread, so that tells me that that's my needle, that it looks really pretty on the front. But if I turn over and look at the back, do you see how that upper looper thread, which is the black, isn't carried all the way to the edge or the blue thread? So I needed to adjust my tensions. What I did was I loosened up actually my upper looper tension so that it could be carried to the back side by that lower looper. Here again is the front. After my adjustment, looks beautiful on the front, and if I turn it over and look at the back, you can see that that upper looper thread is carried all the way to the back, and you can see that fabric is rolled underneath that stitch. Now to create the Pintucks, I have pre-marked my fabric, and this is a really lightweight fabric. That's why I wanted to use that texturized nylon so that I could cover those fabric edges. I'm simply going to fold my fabric on that mark line, and you will be trimming fabric. That's okay, because it's going to be covered by that stitch, so you won't have to worry about any pokies poking out. And pokies are the fibers from the fabric that poke out from the stitch. Now when I do sew with the rolled hem, I do go a little bit slower because those stitches are really compacted on top of one another. I'm coming to the end, so I'm going to take my fabric out from underneath my presser foot. Just go ahead and cut that thread, and then just quickly examine that. How pretty is that? And there's my back side. Now I'm ready to do my second Pintuck, and this is really important. Always make sure that you're folding your fabric and stitching your Pintuck on the same side. So in other words, when I folded my fabric the first time, my fabric bulk went underneath the stitching. This way you'll ensure that the pretty part of that stitch, which is that upper looper, is on the top side of your Pintucks at all time. Again, we're just trimming off, and you can trim off as much or as little as you choose. And as we come to the end, we're going to use the thread cutter, and we're going to sew our last Pintuck. There's the second one, and we'll fold for our third one. Again, that bulk of that fabric sits underneath that Pintuck. Oops, raise that presser foot. Just stitch to the end. And now we're ready to take a look at our decorative Pintucks. Now how pretty is that? And I think with the background of this fabric, it added a great detail. Now in this case, I would leave these Pintucks standing up, whether it went that direction on a garment or straight up and down on my garment. I think I would leave them standing up. I do have a sample that I created using cotton. Now in this case, I did not put a decorative thread in that upper looper. I just used serger thread, and I pressed them flat. But look at how pretty that is. It's just a row after row of Pintucks. So you can see how easy it is to create decorative Pintucks using the Babylockvibrant and how this technique is just so stunning and adds just that little bit of class to any garment or any project you're creating.